Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome to this new episode of Business and Technology. And tonight we're going to talk about everything as a service for small and medium businesses. As everything as a service is also known as XaaS, like people in the IT world calls it XaaS, everything as a service. My name is Joel Boea, and I'm your host tonight. And we're going to talk about everything as a service for small and medium businesses, SMB, as its acronym says, SMB. And if you stay tuned, we're going to see what is an XaaS and what are the pros and what are the cons and what are my predictions for the rest of the remainder of the year, and especially for this year 2022. Please take with us. First of all, let me acknowledge our guests, our people, our viewers who are coming to watch what we're saying here. Oh, okay. I say hello, Dalia MTV. Thank you. Thank you for joining us tonight. We appreciate you being here. And if you don't mind, maybe sharing this video on your WhatsApp profile or anywhere else you may have some audience, and that will be much appreciated. So everything is a service. This is what we're going to talk about. And without any further delay, let me bring up my presentation. As you know, like I'm now, since the beginning of this year, and I've been doing it for a while now for the business and technology, and I'm trying to expand it to all the different shows that we have on this channel. For those of you who are here for the first time, we have shows in French, which is my first language, and another show in Lingala, my second language, and this one in English, which is my third language. All right? And as we mentioned, we're going to talk about everything as a service. Okay, so let me just move my screen. Okay, let me put myself in this corner. Okay, so as you can see, everything is a service. What is it and what matters? What does it matter to you as a business owner or anyone getting into that business? And this is the table of content. This is what we're going to cover, in the few minutes that we have to share with you, to talk with you. And don't hesitate if you have any questions in the chat to, share them with us so that we can try to answer them. And if we cannot, we'll probably make a video or make another show about your questions. So everything is a service. All right. You may wonder, what is it? Okay. Everything, X as a service. What is it? Why does it matter? And what are the pros and what are the cons? We're not going to get into the technical details, talking about, the benefit and all that, but we will kind of highlight how everything as a service may apply to some of your businesses, some of you business owners, some of you content creators. And we'll see how it can help you, maybe, and look at the overall picture. And at the end, we'll talk about what are our prediction for the end for this year, 2022. Everything is a service. It's basically anything that can be provided to yourself as a business owner, or you can provide to some other people as a service. And when we say service, we mean a service that you can deliver through internet. All right? Through internet, you can provide a service. It can be maybe there are different type of services. For example, this tool, this platform that I'm using right now to do this live streaming, it's called Melon app. Okay? And this tool is a software as a service. It's basically a software as a service. Why? Because I do not have to install it on my computer. I don't have to worry about updates, about all the different things. All I do, I have a login and I access my service and I use it to perform various tasks that it allows me to perform for my own benefit and sometimes for the benefit of my customers. So that is one of the everything is a service. Some other people, some other types of everything is a service is infrastructure. Infrastructure as a service, meaning what? instead of you having a computer or a server for your organization, you can go to some of the infrastructure as a service, in short, IaaS providers, and they can provide you with a server, a virtual server, whereby you and your employee and the people working for you, you can connect and keep your database in one secure, safe place. We will talk about the pros and cons. We'll talk about the benefit of that. But I'm still giving you different types, different instances of everything as a service. You have some of those database as a service, DBA where you can store your database, where you can leave your database. You can keep them over there. As you know, database require a certain type of processing power, and because of that, if you had to have it in your own space, just think about a cost. But you have people right now providing that as a service. We're looking at services like Google with the Google Drive. That's everything as a service. So they allow us to store data on their servers in the cloud. Okay, so that is a service, storage as a service that's being provided to us. We can access the Google Docs, which is another software as a service, where we access a word processing application, which allows us to write, to create document that we can export in Docs or any other format to allow people to read or modify, edit them if they need. So Google, Microsoft, those companies, they offer those kind of services. Of course, there is a portion of that is free, and you can go into the terms and condition. You'll see how much they will charge you if you were to go above what they allow you for free. And you will see also how much you need to pay if you need to use some of the other applications that either one of those companies offer to you. Okay, so you leave from that space where you were just you could have bought a computer, you could have bought a server, and instead of that, you're using everything through internet. It's online, and depending on the service that you're getting, you can probably, depending on what you're using, you can probably use either one of their services. And there are so many different types of services that you can access through internet. And we're going to look at how it can benefit, what are the advantages or disadvantages of those software. And we can probably, the first thing when we talk about those everything as a service, people tend to look at applications. They tend to look at infrastructure as a service, because those were the ones that came. That were put in place way at the beginning of this, trend of everything as a service. We had infrastructure as a services, like many manufacturer, many hardware company, they were selling, or they were proposing infrastructure as a service, whereby organization, businesses, instead of buying huge amount of equipment, they would just go and use that as a service, using them through internet connection. I know even now you have some of those services, that network as a service, you have security as a service, you have backup as a service. So many different options that all of these services now, you can put them in one single word, saying everything as a service, XaaS. Now, we have an idea of what can be everything as a service. But now let's look at some of the pros and cons. Okay, we'll start with the pros. So one of the benefit, one of the advantage that you have, um, one of them is the financial one. All right. So it's pretty clear. It's pretty simple for any SMB organization. All right. Anyone starting a new business, unless they're coming from, they have sold a different company, or they have inherited a huge amount of money and they would like to start a business, they can go and buy all the different equipment and everything, install it, get a location, facility where they can store, where they can have everything posted there, store there, and run their businesses. But chances are, many people, and with the rise of internet usage, many people are now relying more on everything as a service. So instead of putting a huge capital amount just to invest on those equipment versus going through a service and putting that, claiming all that as operating expenses, companies are seeing this as a best alternative to best way to start the businesses. Just imagine getting a server, depending on the size and depending on the number of users. You are looking probably at between $2,000 and $3,000 for just infrastructure. Plus, you need clients, desktop, computers that be connected to that server. You need networking devices to allow communication between your client devices, meaning your desktop, your computers, through the servers, and you need some storage, and the list goes on and on. All of that could have been a huge capital expense, like we say, CapEx, at the beginning of the creation of your company, your organization, your small business. But because of how everything as a service comes, you don't need to spend a lot of money up front. Instead of that, you can just now save some of the money you have. Instead of putting that as a capital expense, it becomes an operating expense. Meaning what? You may ask any accountant, they'll tell you the benefit of operating expenses. Especially here in Canada, they'll tell you what are the benefits of going with OPEX, operating expenses versus going with capital expenses, and how you can claim that for your taxes, for your company revenue, your taxes. So there are different and very clear reason why you should consider going with everything as a service. Just imagine some of those applications. I'm looking at right now, you're looking at any editing software, in the field where I am right now, in the video editing, content creation, you're looking at video editing software. One of them, the most used and, known by every user, be it on a Mac or on a Windows computer, it's the Adobe Premiere. So now, as a subscription, people can have access to that software through everything as a service, through software as a service. They do a subscription and they can access the software anywhere they want, anywhere they could be. And instead of paying, I remember the cost when it used to come, the Premiere Pro as a bundle, it used to be over $1,000. So instead of going for just one piece of software, $1,000, you can, as a business, see how many licenses that you need for your organization and get a subscription based on the number of licenses. At the end of the year, instead of spending over $1,000, you may be spending maybe what? $500. Okay, I'm just giving you an estimate. But it will not be the same cost putting that up front. Plus, look at the benefit of having OPEX, using that as an operating expense. Check with your accountant. They'll tell you what are the benefits. So The financial benefit is one of the most, the first option, the first reason why people look at everything as a service when it comes to those new set of services that they can get. And it's simple math, knowing that you'll be spending less money upfront to start using an equipment. You'll be spending less money upfront to start using that compute power, that storage, that backup software. Just think about it. You don't need to install anything. All you do, you need a computer and a connection, internet connection, and that's it. That's it, and you have access to that software, which allows you to do a lot of other different things. I'm talking about Melon app, and if you like to use Melon, I'll put a link after in the description where you can register and allow and support us by allowing Melon to give us a reward. I'll also put another link for Canva, another application that I use for creating all this design. And even this presentation that you're looking at, I created that on Canva. Another software as a service. I have a subscription. They have a free version. But you can use that to run your business, knowing that on a monthly basis, you have a set expense. That goes for your Canva, that goes for your Melon, that goes for all the different software that you're using. And that way, you can predict. You can be more predictable in terms of that particular expense, in terms of the cost that you put for those equipment. You know that you don't have to worry. And that brings us to the second benefit, the technical benefit. You look at no need for you to update the software because it's hosted by the vendor, by whoever the vendor is. They do the upgrade, they do the updates, they do the security, they do the backup. They make it so simple, and then you can grow depending on the software, depending on your needs. You may start with one license and realize that you need extra licenses because you get new employees and they will need to have access to that tool. So you're not stuck to a huge upfront investment, but you can now grow your business and increase the usage of those softwares, those services as needed. Look at it. And because it's hosted by the vendor, you don't have to worry about security. Imagine if it was hosted by yourself. You need to have security in place. You need to have backup in place. You need to make sure that it's agile. You can move it. You can be more productive. You need to make sure that it's working to the utmost performance to allow your company, your employees to be productive. But you no longer have to worry about that because everything is handled by the vendor. All you do is pay for subscription. You pay for a fee on a monthly basis and you access the software. Those are the two main benefits, the two main pros why you should consider or you should look at those software or those services, those infrastructure, those backup, those networking as a service. Because there are financial benefit, there are technical benefit. You don't need to have an IT person per se who has to manage your network, your environment. All it's done by the vendor. And those are the benefits. Just look at it. Think about it. You want to spend all the money up front, or you want to build, or you want to spend only what you need to spend at a time, only what you have to spend at a time. Those are the benefits. Those are the pros. The reason why I'll tell anyone, think about it. And especially if you don't have the capital, if you don't have the money up front, I'll say go with a subscription. Go with that because it allows you to get access to that software, to that application that can help you run your business properly. All right? You can have a great operations running because of those infrastructure, those services, those software, those protection, those backup, as a service and you only pay for a monthly fee. But beside that, I know it's not all perfect. There are some cons. Okay? And like any IT people will tell you, anything can happen in the world of digital, in the world of IT. Anything, name it. It can be, downtime. All right? And that downtime that happens at the vendor server, you have no control over that. As much as you like it, as much as it's working, it can happen that one day you'll be out of, you will not be able to use it. Just remember a couple months ago where Metaverse, Facebook, and all the sister companies, they went dark for a couple hours. Those people, the people who use those applications for their businesses, they were unable to work because the system went down. It does not happen every time, but when it happens, it can be really severe. It can be worse and make it everything worse. Just imagine sometimes when there are some issues or outage anywhere, sometimes our YouTube itself becomes slower because outage in different region, different areas. It can be a problem because if you rely on that, if you rely on those software, those are the things that can happen. Are they major? It depends. It depends how you feel about it. It depends on the risk that you take. It depends on how long can it take for your organization to be down. How long can it take for you to be late? It depends. Because for some people, an hour downtime costs them a lot of money. For some people, it would take them 24 hours of downtime to be in a bad shape, in a bad position. So it's something that can happen, and why? Because it's out of your control. The other cons, the other disadvantage of everything as a service is there could be a latency issue. A latency between your client and connecting to the server, or transmission latency, things like that. Anything can happen. I always remember one time, once we were in a meeting and we were using one application for the meeting, and all of a sudden, for some reason, the meeting got disturbed and it was not working the way it was supposed to be. That software that we were using for the meeting, we could not use it. So, thankfully, the organization hosting the meeting had another platform they could use to continue the meeting. They just sent everybody, call everybody, and advise people to go in a specific link to connect and continue the meeting. It can happen. No one is safe. No one can say that with their platform, nothing will ever happen. It's not true. Anything can happen. It could be human error. It could be many, many other reasons. And for you, a small business, small and medium business, you need to think about how risk averse are you when it comes to those issues, downtime, latency. Another cons that I see, it's integration with other platforms, with other apps. How well that application, that service you're using can be integrated with other services. Those are the things that you need to think about. And that's where you need to be prepared and consider and do your due diligence, do your homework. Whenever you would like to do this kind of thing, do your homework, understand the implication, understand that the connections between the different platforms and services, how can they work well together to help you achieve your goals. That is a key. Okay? It could be also that trying to troubleshoot a problem, depending on the level of the service provided, some services, they have different tier. Depending on the tier you are on, you may have access to premium support. On some tier, you don't have premium support. You just have to send an email and wait for somebody to get back to you. Some offer a chat support, so you go through a chat and you're in touch with somebody. Some offer a chat, but it's only during business hours. Others offer chat 24/7. So you need to do your homework when it comes to those things and see and assess for yourself what is the best solution for you. What is the best solution for you in terms of financial, in terms of technical, in terms of those different challenges that may occur, not all the time, because otherwise those vendors will be out of business. But once in a while, if they could occur, what will happen? What could happen to your business? So that's something that you need to be prepared for. You need to think about it and be really prepared in case of anything. Last but not least, this is what I think will happen. And I've seen it. I've seen it. Some of these organizations, they try, they evolving, and the evolution of those vendors, those services, it was really kind of pushed. It was catapulted when the usage and the connectivity of has gotten better. Let me say it this way. When internet was more accessible and it was easy to access certain speed that were not possible 15 years ago. Just imagine a couple of years ago how difficult it was to send even a picture to the phone. It was not possible until when internet speed started getting higher and the devices were able to cope with that speed, that we will start sending images. Our children who are born today, if you tell them that a couple of years ago we were not able to send pictures, we were not able to send videos through the phones, through the mobile devices, some of them will not believe you. But that is the truth. Why? Because everything has evolved. Everything has gotten better to make it easier for those services providers to come and offer those services. And with that is the cost to access some of those software has become so, those software are now more accessible than they were a couple of years ago. I told you about Adobe Suite, Adobe Bundle. It was price prohibitive for many people. It was so prohibitive in terms of cost. For some people to have access to that, it was only certain businesses, top player, they had access to that. But today, with subscription, I think between 20 and 100, if you like the whole bundle, the different apps per month, you can access the same thing that used to cost over $3,000 as a bundle in the days. Back in the days, it used to cost over $3,000. Now you can access it easily for less money and have access to the same software with added functionalities, with added security, knowing that it's updated. You don't need to worry about the update. You don't need to worry about the firmware. You don't need to worry about things that sometimes I remember we used to have some software and you were so afraid to do any updates because some of the updates, for example, will lock your computer. Some of the updates will make you lose access to certain features. And people will stick to the old one and really wait until the last minute when they can no longer use it to do an update. Those are the challenges that we had in the past. With what we're going through right now, it makes it so easy that you don't have to worry about that. It becomes something of the past. You look at it, I need this software, I need Canva, I need Melon, okay? What level do I need? What tier do I need? This is the tier that I need. Okay, let me get it. Why? Because it allows me to have a speed, to have a quick, easy setup for what I'm trying to do, to achieve my goal. I need to create a poster, I need to create a presentation, I need good design. Okay, let me open Canva right there. I don't need to buy Illustrator like we used to in the past, or Quark Express. For those who know what Quark Express is, you don't need to buy that. You don't need to worry about all these things. All you do, you go online, search for the software you want, check, and sign in, choose your tier. There you go, on the go. You know, and with that, that's a beauty. And before I get to what I'm going to say, that's a beauty of it. It doesn't matter what computer I'm using, as long as I have my login ID and my password. So I don't need to carry my laptop. I don't need to carry different devices just to make sure that I would not have any problem doing my editing over here, over there. No, all I need could be just any computer. I go to Montreal to see my cousin. I don't need to carry a computer. If I need something be done quickly, I'll just ask, can I use your computer for a quick minute? They give me a login, or they set me up as a guest, and I go open my Canva or my Adobe Creative Cloud account, open my Melon, and I'm ready to go. And that is how easy and simple it has become. And this is where I can say with assurance that for 2022, we'll see more people signing up for those services. Everything is there. Of course, after doing your homework, assessing the risk, assessing as we say, different troubleshooting, different integrations between the desired app or desired services and the other services. Once you've done your homework, once you know how it works, you know that it can work, you know that it's compatible with your operating system, you know it's compatible with your operating system on your phone, whatever, and it's work, it will be fine. Then what will be left is looking at it. One of the benefit that I forgot to mention is the ease of use and the mobility that it offers. Just imagine that you don't have to carry a USB drive in your pocket, in your bag, because you need to make sure that you save all the files and you carry them from one place to another one, with the risk of losing that, with the risk of the drive being scanned at the airport and wiping all your data out. All you do, you save it in the cloud and you don't have to carry that. You save it in the cloud and you don't have to worry about space. You don't have to worry about all of that because it's stored in the cloud as a service. My prediction, simple. We'll see more use. We see more businesses signing up for those services, signing up to be able to use all this, to be able to run their business from anywhere in the world. And what we learned in the last 2 years is mobility is key. Remote workers, that's a new way of doing business. That's a new way of running your business. So if you want everything localized in one place and I mean, chances are you probably learned it in the last 2 years. It's difficult. It will be difficult to be there because the other thing is we don't know if anything can happen. Anything can happen. Those governments, they can wake up one morning and say, because of these new things, because of this new issue, we no only essential workers are only to go in the offices. Everybody has to stay home, work from home. Just imagine. Those services as software, everything as a software, has allowed many organizations to stay in business during this difficult time. It still allows them to run their business because it's easy and did not cost much to many organizations to run their business, knowing that all they have to do, provide a license, provide a subscription for the employees to access certain software, certain applications and services, and continue performing what they have to do. So this is what I think it would happen. Everything as a service for small and medium businesses. It's something that will keep on growing. And maybe this is an advice for you as a small, medium business owner or an entrepreneur. You're thinking about it. Maybe you're on the side of consumers, but if you're in the world of IT or creativity, maybe it is time for you to start thinking, how can you transform some of your services into some of the services that you provide, some of the tools, some of the knowledge that you have, make it available as a service. Instead of, having people to buy certain things and paying a lot of money up front to acquire certain equipment with your organizations, you can let them use that as a service. Think about it. Think about it, because we're living in a world where internet is making it easy and it's more and more affordable. I'm just thinking about 5 years ago when the fiber connectivity was being installed in many different cities across the country. The price was prohibitive. But today you can get fiber for less than $100, less than 100 Canadian dollars. And the quality of internet, the speed, reliability, nothing compared to what we used to have. When was that? Back in 2009. Nothing compared to that. Where you have downtime, you have problems. We no longer have that in terms of internet connection. And that makes it easier for those vendors to provide some of those services through internet. So my prediction is really it's going to increase. More and more people will embrace it. More and more people will go after those services provided through internet. I'm telling you, you'll see it. You'll see it. And if you are a creator, a software maker, think about it. Think about it. How can you provide the same level of quality, the same security of your software, but through as a service? As a service. And the beauty of it is it's growing so fast that as users, we are switching from one app, from one service to another one as quickly. As soon as I see that one app has the functionalities that I want, as the ability, it can help me achieve what I'm trying to do, I'll jump. Unless, of course, I paid for the full year. And that is another thing where I say, do your homework before embracing anything, before engaging yourself, before putting your money there. Do your homework. Do you want to bind yourself? Do you want to lock yourself in for 1 year, or you want to be free and switch from one provider to another one as long as they provide you with the right functionalities, the right features. Think about it. Think about it. And what I see is some of the services that we used to have in 2020, or sometime when I look at my phone, some of them I no longer use. I kind of disconnect myself. I look at this app, and I was paying $5 a month just to use the app, and I realized I haven't used it in 2 months. Do I still need it? No. Why? Because I can do it with this other app. And that other app allows me to do more things. Okay. I just call and cancel. That's it. That's it. The other benefit that you can get through those apps, as we said in the beginning, it's the updates. Updates are coming so fast. They're so... Those companies, those vendors who are smart, they're updating the stuff quickly at a speed that you will not believe it. And almost every one of them is creating now focus group of users that they come and provide feedback. Oh, we don't like this. This one is not working. Can you, can you add this feature? Can you do this? And it's making those vendors realize that they need to act quick before another vendor comes providing the answers with the problems that those people have. All right, that's just my prediction. And let me have a look at the comment in the chat here. Yeah, see Vanessa by design. Yeah. Oh, you still have problems with your internet? Yeah, so that is something you need to, maybe check with your internet provider and see, ask them, today families always ask for the upload speed. That is another trick that I've learned in the last 10 years. Always ask for upload speed. Don't let them fool you by telling you, oh, we have a great speed. Our internet is fast. You can do this. Always ask, what is your guaranteed upload speed? Always ask for that. Why? Because the fact we're spending a lot of time at home, and with what we had in the last 2 years, with all the different devices connected, you name it, your phone, your smartphones, your children smartphones if they're grown up, their computers when they have to connect to the schools and do their things, your own computer to connect to work, your own computer for your personal businesses, and the list goes on. The smart TV to connect, it's still connected to the internet. So when all these devices are connected, your internet hub or your internet router, that can slow your speed. And it's one of the reasons why I always tell people, go for the highest speed. Always multiply it. Let's say, then take the number of devices and multiply it by 2. Okay? If you have 16 devices, you count your TV, your phone, your mobile, your tablet, the children's computer, and all of that, multiplied by 2 megabytes, and with that megabit, and with that you ask the internet provider, I need 25 megabit upload speed. Can you guarantee that? Yeah. Can you always ask them, can you guarantee that? I need 25 upload speed, wireless, not hardwired, wireless connection. can you guarantee me a 25 megabit per second upload speed? And if they cannot guarantee that, then you know they're not good enough. And like I see the comment here from Dahlia MTV. Maybe you need fiber, then don't forget the upload speed. Yes, you need fiber. Yes, we have so many devices. High speed costs more, but you have a peace of mind. Definitely. Yeah, you have a peace of mind in terms of connectivity, in terms of speed and all that. It will not bug, it will not be slow. You will have it. Because as soon as you have, and why I'm talking about the upload speed, because anytime your computers are connected to the net, to the internet, and you are turning on your camera, that is what takes your upload speed. And for good streaming, for example, say your upload speed should be 10 megabit per second minimum. 10. If you have less, I'm telling you, you'll have choppy connection. Your connection will be bad. I'm telling you. It's by experience. I remember, organizations. I used to be with some organizations, some non-profit organizations like churches. We used to have the same problem, and I used to tell them the same thing. We need to have this kind of power, this kind of speed, if we really want to have this kind of internet to broadcast, to do things, to share it with the whole community. And every time we try to do it without my recommendation, it was always a disaster. And then endless time of rebooting, of doing things, calling the internet service provider to come and check and do things, but it was not changing, because unfortunately the area where we were, they did not have fiber connection, and it was only the basic connection, and the speed was not that great. On paper, they will tell you, yes, you can get 10 megabit per second, but in reality, we did the test so many times, we were only getting 5. Half of what it said on paper. Yeah, so it's really, it will cost more, but you have peace of mind. Definitely. Peace of mind. It will help you. All right, friends. So think about it. Understand that some of these applications will be your best friend, but do your homework, understand how you can integrate it with the other application that you're already using, and how they can work together, and assess the risk if anything was to break down with the vendor. How long can you sustain your business without the services? And hopefully, as a small business, it'll be okay even if it was to go for 4 hours. So think about it, how critical it is, and what's not. Maybe you have a backup plan. Okay, the backup plan could be like this. For example, right now I'm using Melon, okay, for this streaming. But right here on my computer, I have other applications. Some are paid, some are free. Actually, they're not installed because 2 of them are services, like software as a service, meaning online. I have the login. I can connect through those applications and still do my live streaming to YouTube. Okay? I have another one that is paid, Ecamm, that installed my computer. I can do my live. So always, as a business, have a backup plan. Always set up a backup plan. Have a strategy that if anything goes down, what are my options? Unfortunately, the only thing that will probably stop you is if you have power outage. Yes, power outage, like this this winter, it could happen, and if that happens, it's not just your home, but it's the whole city. you can do nothing. You can do nothing. But if it's not a power outage, it's just a software, a vendor software problem, you can rely on another one and still do your work, still do your stream, still do your design, still do your whatever service, whatever thing you need to do. Okay? Just think about it, but you'll see you'll probably be one of the small businesses getting into that, using more and more software as a service. All right. So I thank you for stopping by, and leave us a comment if you're going to watch it after. And if this was valuable to you, and if you know people that can benefit from this, please do not hesitate to share with them. And for those of you who will come and watch this later, leave us a comment, leave us a message so to tell us how well we did tonight. If anything we need to change, we need to update, to upgrade, let us know. Your feedback is what makes us better. We know what we like to do. We like to provide support for you. We like to provide you with advice and great content. And we can only improve if you give us your feedback. All right? Say stay safe, and we'll connect next week for another episode of Business and Technology. Thank you.